Nico is so bad that the Bruins lost to New Mexico. Now, we've had to educate folks on some geography on the podcast over the past few weeks because the Bruins have been losing to some teams that we didn't even know if they were a state. We didn't know they played football. New Mexico has been a state in this union since the end of the Mexican American War. And sometime in the last 150 years since New Mexico has been a state, at some point they did in fact start playing football in New Mexico, Austin. But they just beat UCLA and the Bruins and Nico. They didn't just beat them; they beat them at the Rose Bowl, and they beat them bad. And it's so bad now that Nico has gotten his coach Deshaun Foster fired. Ryan kind of alluded to it earlier, brother. It's just like he just keeps delivering in the best possible way for us.
Yeah, I was hesitant to talk about this on the show just because the Georgia game was such a big moment and all that. But I do feel like, hey, we deserve to have a little bit of a good time. We just lost one of the most heartbreaking losses in Heupel's coaching career here, probably the most heartbreaking, honestly, as a fan in a long time. But yeah, so listen, this is really funny. It's a funny situation, right? Because and it plays into the Aguilar story because and I was going to mention this earlier, Blake, but did you know Deshaun Foster said about Joey Aguilar during the spring the spring portal air that he wasn't happy with Joey Aguilar's film study. He wasn't happy with Joey Aguilar as his quarterback. That's why you're fired, idiot. Like,
Insane,
there's a
dude. Yeah, that's
reason. Listen, you got to wake up and smell the rose. There's a reason you just got fired. It's because you just said one of the dumbest things ever. If you say something and you make as dumb as a decision as going for Nico instead of Joey Aguilar, you get fired from your job. That's one good way to get fired. Another good way to get fired, Blake, is you lose to a team that hasn't won a power conference game since 2008. Blake, that was the first Barack Obama administration. That's the last time this team won a
it's
power
a long time
conference
ago,
game.
brother.
It's a long time ago, dude. It's a long time ago. I was the ripe age of 10 to 11 years old, depending on the time frame of the football game, probably 11. Point being, that's a long time ago, dude. To win a power conference game. That was New Mexico's first power conference win since 2008, Blake. And it wasn't just a win, people. They
They
annihilated them.
smoked him. They
35 to
smoked him.
10. It wasn't close at any point in the game. Nico kept trying to throw it to the defense. Defenders kept dropping it. He looked awful. I mean, it was just and it's just like, and again, like, could you imagine if Joey and Max Gilbert hit a 43-yard kick? Because and it's just like it's already so lopsided, right? But imagine like we would get all the
Yeah.
storylines because we're 3-0 and Joey's a Heisman candidate and all this. But man, it's funny. It's fun. That's the best way to say it. It's a funny happening that Nico, like, because like we talked about last week, like we're like, okay, where's the wins left on the schedule? They're probably beating New Mexico. They were 15-point favorites in the game, by the way, people. They're 15-point favorites
Yes.
to beat New Mexico
Oh
at home.
God.
If you want to call it a home game, there was a lot of open
It was
seats,
like
man. A lot of people dressed as empty seats in this game. People are sending the screenshots of before, like when the game was starting. Could you imagine what the stadium looked like when it was 28-10 New Mexico, Blake? There wasn't a soul left in the stadium. Um, like it's just and like we're looking through the schedule. We say New Mexico, we say Northwestern's maybe a win. We're looking at 2-10 at this point. Like there is a legitimate possibility to go 0-12 if you're the UCLA Bruins. 0 and
it,
12.
it's very legitimate. It's like it's the probable course of action now. It's probably like they're fighting to get a win now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
look, we always give this disclaimer. We feel a little bit of sympathy for Nico because he's been led astray by his dad. Okay, got that disclaimer out of the way. This is freaking hilarious, man.
It's
I
so
mean,
funny.
it's
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 funny.
just the funniest thing you've ever. And you make a great point about man. if Gilbert hits that kick,
Oh, dude.
this is plastered
So
over every the headline is Joey freaking football, baby, is the freaking headline of college football. And Austin, I still believe in my heart of hearts that he's going to end up being the headline of
he
college
has the
football this
makeup.
season.
He has the makeup for it, man.
He has the makeup. He does
And
have the makeup. But man,
dude,
go ahead.
it's just yeah, man. You're 100% correct. Um, but dude, it's the fact that they could go 0-12 after you literally you crapped on Joey Aguilar in the spring portal. You're like, we don't want this guy. Give him the Tennessee, and it's already the most lopsided trade in history. Like it's already if the season ended right now, it's the most lopsided trade in history. But man, if we beat Georgia, dude, it would have been the most lopsided trade in history and for the rest of time, dude. And I'm not even putting any
Yeah.
of the loss
Yeah.
on Joey. I'm just saying it's like we would be competing for a potential, SEC championship, national championship, and we still could. By the way, we still could. That's not off the table. I'm just saying it's like, oh, it's so funny, dude. It's so funny. And let's make this come totally clear. Let me just make this perfectly clear for the audience. If Nico were the quarterback yesterday, it would have been 44-10 Georgia, not 44-41. We wouldn't have had a chance to win that football game with Nico at the helm, dude. No chance whatsoever. The only reason we're in that game is because of Joey Aguilar, and of course the receivers. But the thing is, your receiver can't make a play when you're taking a sack. They can't make a play
if your quarterback's not getting rid of the ball.
if you're not going to give him an opportunity to make the deep catch and get on the highlight reel and get on SEC top 10 and have 3 touchdowns, then guess what? We're sitting here like idiots last year doing the season review and saying, oh, our receiver sucked last year. No, it turned out we had the worst quarterback in FBS, dude. That's what he's fighting for. He's fighting for the worst quarterback in college football, man. That's how bad he is.
And his team is currently squarely the worst team in FBS football.
Question. It's
dude,
not a question.
Did you see that, dude? All-time tweet from the Big Sky Conference.
Loved it.
FCS.
Loved it.
And I think it might have been like a Barstool account or something saying about, hey, UCLA needs to make the change to the Big Sky Conference and the FCS. And they're like, no thanks.
No, we're good. We'll pass. We'll pass on. We'll pass on that. Dude, that was so funny.
That
so funny.
All-time tweet. Hilarious.
And they're also, man, I'm blanking on the conference that New Mexico plays in. I'm trying to look it up real quick. I think it's okay, so anyway, either way, it's man, I can't find their conference. I forgot it. But anyway, it's a group of 5 conference. UCLA is currently the only team in that conference, which they're not even in that conference, by the way. They play in the Big Ten, people. They're the only team in this conference to lose 2 conference games to this conference, and they're not even in the conference. That's how incredible.
Yes.
They lost to UNLV and New Mexico, who play in the same conference. I can't find the conference right now. But either way, Mountain West, maybe it might be the Mountain West. That sounds right.
I think it's the Mountain West.
They're like the only Mountain West. A team in the Mountain West to lose 2 conference games, and they don't play in the Mountain West. They play in the Big Ten. They haven't even gotten Big Ten play yet. Can you imagine how bad those games are going to look, dude? It is going to be really, really sad. And it's just like I don't even know if I believe in karma. But this is the kind of level of karma that would get a non-believer in karma to believe in karma. That's how bad this situation has turned out. And dude, I stayed up for the UCLA game Friday night. That makes me a crazy person, but that's how much I enjoy the UCLA and the dumpster fire that it is right now. I stayed up for that whole game. I texted some of my buddies. I'm like, when y'all wake up and look at the UCLA score, just remember one thing. Nico left Tennessee because the situation, Blake. Remember, that's why he left Tennessee, because the situation around him. It held him back. That was the narrative. That was a complete lie, by the way, but complete lie.
Biggest lie.
It was all about the money. And for all the people saying, well, it was about the family. If we would have paid Nico $4 million, he would still be our quarterback. And we would would have gotten blown out by 30 points yesterday. It had nothing to do with his family. It had nothing to do with the situation around him. It was because we didn't fork up the $4 million. Let's not rewrite history. It was because we didn't fork up the $4 million, and it's because Heupel said, "Get off my team when you miss practice. You're done. We're
Correct.
not paying you $4 million. We're gonna go upgrade with Joey Football, Joey Swagular, whatever. The Fireman. That's my favorite nickname, by the way.
The fireman.
The Fireman.
I hit you with that one.
The
I
Fireman.
hit you with that one
That
last
is
night.
Joey Aguilar, dude. The Fireman, dude. I absolutely love. That's a fire nickname because it's probably what he'll end up doing one day after football. And that's what happened, Blake. Let's not rewrite history, people. Let's not listen to Joel Klatt and all the idiots on Fox tell you why. Oh, it's just about his family, and he wanted Tennessee in the offensive line and those dang receivers, man. Those receivers. Did you watch Chris Brazzell yesterday, dummies? Did you watch him play football? Did you watch Chris Brazzell score 3 touchdowns on the Bulldogs, and you thought it was the receivers? Are you out of your mind? And like, it gets worse and worse by the second, dude. How dumb that statement is. It's one of the dumbest statements ever, man. Like, it's not the receivers, it's not the offensive line. It was Nico, bro. It was Nico.
Bro,
And it's a miracle we won 10 games last year.
Absolute miracle. And how do you, as national media, professional sports media, how do you keep your job? How do you keep your dignity as a human being? Like, how do you look at yourself in the mirror when you're like spewing this false narrative that Big Nick put out? By the way, the narrative changed like 7 times, right?
Yeah.
When they're trying to do damage control. That's a telltale sign. Like, that's what police look for when they're doing an investigation and they're questioning
when
you
the story
and you
changes. Yeah.
you change your story multiple times.
Yep.
That's usually a telltale sign that you're lying, right? And so the narrative changed, but Big Nick's like, oh, it's a family situation, and then Kirk Herbstreit came out and said that he heard Big Nick was saying you need to get better players around Nico, and or we're leaving. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? You're going 0-12 now. You're going 0-12. It was obviously about the money, but how do you, as national sports media, professional sports media, look at yourself in the mirror when you're spewing obvious lies?
Yeah.
And you're trying to get us to still believe it. Like, come on, the gig is up.
Because the family said something different a week ago. Like, it's like they just had complete amnesia after a week. They're like, oh, but it was the receiver. It was the receiver who had 150 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bulldogs. That was the problem. Chris Brazzell. Or how about Braylon Staley, who put up 100 yards and a touchdown against the Bulldogs? Or how about Mike Matthews, who were all on the team last year, by the way, Blake? They all played for us last season. But it was the receivers, dude. It was Chris Brazzell. He was the problem. No, it turns out Chris Brazzell was massively held back by the worst quarterback in college football. That's what the reality was.